You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Welcome back to the Shark Tank, everyone. My apologies for coming to you later on this week. Had a little bit of a sinus cold, but I am over it now. We are back to give you all the info for the latest in the LSFL. Let's welcome in the commish, Freddy Reyes. Welcome in, my friend.
Good morning. Good morning. I think I'm lagging.
Little bit. No biggie.
All right. Perfect. Big week this week in the LSFL. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it indeed. All right, well, let's go over last week. We'll start with that at least. Let's look at the scores. I started out, of course, with my score, and I had to call myself out. I knew the minute I said Nick is my bitch, I was like, in my head, I was like, oh, man, I'm already setting myself up for a loss. And I sure did. A nice 20-point-something beat down by the Predators. Good game from Nick. Massacre eked out the win against the Eldorados. That was a big win for him. Goats winning as well. They've been on a nice little hot streak as of late. Bombers eked one out over the Bucks as well. There was a lot of close games. And speaking of, look at this old rivalry. The Dragons and the Rattlers also came down to the end. Maybe Jose definitely will pay attention a little, get it off that golf course this week. Could have sealed the deal for him this week. And the Jesters, one of the hottest teams in the league, 106-35 to the poor old Grimace, who are definitely on toilet bowl watch, which makes Mr. Reyes the commish team of the week again, second week in a row. Congratulations. Any thoughts on your second week in a row team of the week nomination?
Oh man, it's just like we said. We knew coming in the first 3 weeks were going to be tough. We got laughed at a little bit, but now we're showing why I'm the two-time. I went to the Fantasy Bowl twice, hopefully for a third time.
The two-time LSFL champion. Now you're seeing why, he says. All right, let's take a look at the standings now that everything's kind of set in place. Here's the AFC picture. If the playoffs started today, you would see Eldorados again with that number 1 seed. Number 2 would be Goats. Number 3 would be the Rattlers. And number 3 would be the Sharks, my bad. And number 4, and the play-in game, which we didn't vote out, by the way, which I thought was funny. Everyone made a big stink about it, and still in this year. The Rattlers actually would be in the play-in game this year, playing the Sharks. I think that's how it set up last year as well. So we'll see if that continues. Let's look at the NFC picture as it stands, and the Dragons right now looking real strong. Number 1 seed, if it started today, Massacre would be number 2. Jesters in at number 3. And that little play-in game, we'll talk about it right now because the Bombers and the Predators actually are playing this week. They're tied right now, but they're going to be playing this week. So it's going to be very interesting. We'll talk about that in a second. Here are your current power rankings. Excuse me. As I mentioned, Dragons all the way up there, 5-1, most points in the league right now, just dominating on the LSFL front. But, again, got the hottest team in the league on the rise. The Jesters there at number 4, right behind him. He's at 4-2. Eldorados staying strong at number 2 spot on the power rankings. Number 3, Massacre have climbed up a bit. The Sharks obviously falling now, losing their second in a row. Or might have been third. I don't remember. Lost quite a few in a row, unfortunately. Bombers, with a win this week, have perked up to the number 6 spot with the Predators, ironically, right behind them. The Goats, the Bucks, the Rattlers, and the Jets all sliding. It's just a tad down the power rankings. I think that was more of just points for the Goats because I know they did win this week. And the Grimace, they're going to stay right down there at the bottom.
Embarrassing.
At 5. Ooh, God, Ken. What's going on this year, bro? I don't. Oh, it's just
He
not
said
looking
he
good.
said the streak. That's it, guys. The greatest comeback ever. Put this big old thing in the chat to be 1-5. And Jose, I am thoroughly disappointed in you. You could have beat the Dragons last week, but you stuck or forgot to put in Justin Herbert.
Yeah, that's a rookie mistake, bro. That's a you shouldn't be making those mistakes at this time, bro. All right.
No.
Well, good transition. Let's talk about the first matchup then. I mean, I was gonna put Toilet Ball in here, but Rattlers, not for nothing, scored some good points. So I foresee them during the second half of the season being a little bit better. 2-4 Rattlers going against a 1-5 Grimace. Grimace lead the series 13-10. Rattlers won their last meeting 121.35 to 107.2. Rattlers are 3-2 in the last 5 matchups. They're favored by 5. Who you like in the matchup, Fred?
Unfortunately, I think the Grimace actually win this week. Just clustering the bottom of the toilet bowl chase. The Rattlers just don't pay attention. I don't know what's wrong with them. They hear this every year and they fail to do anything about it. I think the Grimace actually pulled this one off.
It's an interesting week because the Rattlers unfortunately have to go with, because of buys. This is one of the big bye weeks that we're going to have during the season. He's going with Keontae Ingram and Salvan Ahmed right now as his starting running backs, which is a bad matchup for Miami as far as running backs concerned. Eagles are a really good, tough run D. But again, he's kind of stuck due to his bye weeks. And it just happened to be a decent week for the Grimace as far as buys are concerned. So it just may play out in fact, unfortunately for the Rattlers, that the Grimace just are stronger this week. All right, let's get into the next matchup. We got the 4-2 Jesters against the surprisingly 2-4 Jets. The Jets do lead the series 7-5. Jesters won the last matchup, which was the NFC Conference Championship last year, 117.2 to 86.15. Jesters are 4-1 in the last 5 matchups. Jesters right now are favored by 8. Who do you like?
I would say the Jets, because the Jesters are got a couple of plug and plays. I'm going to go with myself because I want to keep the streak going, but it's going to be a very tough week as I had to stick in a running back, a wide receiver, and a flex this week, as Hall is on a bye, Thielen is on a bye, and of course Herbert is hurt. So like you said, this is a big bye week, and it definitely affects my team.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of more injury concern on his end.
His injury.
Got Deshaun Watson, may or may not go. It is a decent matchup. However, Christian McCaffrey also in question as well this week. He does have Eli Mitchell to back him up, however. So it's going to be an interesting week. I mean, this is really going to either push you over and put him down, or going to bring you guys closer together in the middle of the pack. So this is going to be a really big week for the NFC conference. So it'll be interesting to see how this game plays out. El Dorado against the Goats. El Dorado's 4-2. Goats are on a hot streak, 3-3 right now. El Dorado's lead this series overall is surprising, 8-2. El Dorado's won the last meeting 109.6 to 71.06. The El Dorados, they're 4-1 in the last 5 matchups. Right now, the El Dorados are favored by 4. Who you like in this one?
Ooh, this one's tough. They're both division leaders. They both want that win. I know the Goats don't want to go back down because even though the Bucks lost a couple of games, obviously they did score big. So I'm looking at both their lineups, and I think I'm gonna go with the Goats this week. I like Purdy, Bijan's there. It doesn't look like the bye weeks affected him much this week, as much as I did the El Dorados. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna go with the Goats.
El Dorado's got a little bit of bye week concerns. Nothing crazy though. I think this is pretty well even. Yeah, I'm just looking at both these matchups. This really could go either way. I would really put the line here at even, which again, big game for the AFC conference. Kind of see where this team, it's kind of the same thing. Do these teams come closer together, or does the El Dorado separate themselves from the pack? It'd be interesting to see. All right, let's go to the Sharks against the Bucks. Sharks are 3-3, Bucks 2-4. Sharks lead the series 14-11. Sharks won their last meeting in the AFC wildcard game last year, 137.65 to 94.7. The Sharks are 3-2 in the last 5 matchups. Sharks right now favored by 5. Who you like?
Oof. Like I said, he does score a lot. The Bucks, and his season is more on the line than the Sharks because y'all so close together in the AFC. But if the Bucks take another loss and the Goats get a win, it's a big problems for the Bucks. Now, I do want to say, I think the Sharks do pull it off just because their team looks a little bit better. It's going to be real funny for you to watch, to cheer on Hurts and Smith against your Miami Dolphins.
Well, listen, the last 2 weeks, then I've had to go. I watched Tyreek Hill score, and had to sit here and cheer for it. So it's not a big deal for me either way. I'm always pulling for my team either way. So if the fantasy be damned, quite frankly. But in this particular matchup, I think again, I think I'm kind of lucking out as far as bye weeks are concerned.
Yeah.
He's got some big,
lot of buys.
He got a lot of people on the bye right now. Fortunately for me, I do not. So I think just that in that war of attrition, I think I might have lucked out this week.
Henry, Pierce, and Stroud out.
Yeah. So all those points sitting on the bench. All right, let's get to the next one. This is another interesting one. The 3-3 Bombers, 3-3 Predators. Predators lead the series 13-9. Bombers won their last meeting 113.9 to 96.95. Predators 3-2 in the last 5 matchups. Predators favored by 3. Who you like, Fred?
Let me look at this really quickly. Okay, I'm gonna go with the Predators. It's pretty even. I don't see anybody. Well, Mike got Lamb, Higgins, and Burrow. So yeah, definitely like the Predators better. It don't look like the bye week really affected him. He got Jackson going, Taylor, Pacheco, Hill, McLaurin. So he got his whole lineup in there. This might be a down week for the Bombers.
Bombers doing what the Bombers do late in the season, start to bomb. It's starting to become a thing now. And again, this is a bad week to have some big players out. Could see the Bombers going down out of the playoffs and the Predators putting themselves in the playoffs. You just saw the standings right there. So again, control your own destiny this week for both these teams. Unfortunately, I think for Mike, the bye week bug might have bit him in week 7. Let's get to the game of the week. The 4-2 Massacre versus the 5-1 Dragons. There's no bigger game right now in the NFC. Massacre lead the series 4-3. Massacre won their last meeting 108.5 to 83.65. Massacre 3-2 in their last 5 matchups. Dragons favored by 1. Fred, who you like? And Fred's gone. So I think the internet hit him. So I'm looking at so Nick apparently is pulling an okie doke on the Dragons as you're looking at the matchup. I was like, he's got projected 9 points. He's got one person in his lineup really just trying to play mind games right now with the Massacre, especially on a big game of the week. So gonna be an interesting game. So I'm trying to look at this matchup. He's got Trevor Lawrence kind of a little bit banged up, going against a tough matchup. This is Nick I'm talking about, going against the Saints this week. Could be a tough matchup for him. Like Kenneth Walker, however, Stephon Diggs, a tough matchup. Christian Kirk, tough matchup. I'm looking at the other side. I kind of like what's going on over here on the Dragons. I'm expecting them, it looks like maybe this week, to get this one over. Does that mean that happens in the playoffs? Maybe or maybe not. But going forward this week, I think right now the Dragons will cement themselves for being kings and the NFC. All right, well, Fred had to dip out of here. He's got work too. He said his laptop died. It's all good either way. We appreciate you guys for joining us this week. Check us back next week. I'll make sure to get us on the proper time, which is on Tuesday. And we'll do another breakdown of week 8. It's Halloween week next week. We have lots of fun during that as well. So we appreciate you guys, and I'm out.